So the situation in Sudan has, of course, been making international headlines, but also getting a lot of attention in India because of the plight of those 3,000 Indians who are trapped in the Sudan. Prime Minister Modi holding a review meeting to try and figure out what can be done to get them out. The External Affairs Minister, Jai Shankar, talking to the United Nations to try and see what can be done. And now let's look at the situation in the Sudan in some detail. What's the background? Why did all of this happen? Well, fighting broke out last Saturday. The military and the paramilitary were actually talking about integration when the question arose of who would be the leader. And, you know, that's when the problems start. The Sudanese armed forces, you see, are mostly loyal to General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. He's the country's de facto leader and has been one since a 2019 uprising that ousted the Sudanese dictator Omar al-Bashir. The paramilitaries of Sudan's rapid support forces of the RSF don't support al-Burhan. They are supporters of General Muhammad Hamdani Dagalo. He is a former warlord. They call him Hemeti, and Hemeti believes he has been wronged. How? You see, the RSF, led by Hemeti, cooperated with the military to oust Bashir in 2019. But Hemeti believes he wasn't given his due, and he was reduced to the official deputy on Sudan's ruling council. What we are seeing in Sudan is essentially a fight for dominance on who should report to who should be the leader. And the answer, as always, depends on which side you ask. As we speak, both sides have taken control of key sites. Although the Sudanese military outnumbers the RSF, the latter is better trained and also better equipped. So far, the fighting has mostly been limited to Khartoum. People there have fled their homes, but many have been trapped in the crossfire.
I have 3 boys, teenagers, and my husband also ventured out yesterday to get some medicine for himself during what was supposed to be the ceasefire, but apparently that ceasefire wasn't really effective.
The main challenge I saw is water actually. People are going around everywhere, supermarket, around the streets to get water, but nobody is finding water. It actually looks like it's not safe to go outside because gunfiring are happening even nearby my house, so it's not safe to go. I don't know what to do in this situation. Many people are fleeing to other places, but I don't have any place to go in other cities. So I'm like clueless, I'm hopeless. I just went to the supermarket to buy water.
And as I told you, there's some 3,000 to 4,000 Indians who live and work in the Sudan, and India's External Affairs Ministry has been in touch with partners to try and ensure the safety of Indians. Those same calls for peace are coming in from across the world because many countries have citizens out there who could be trapped in the crossfire. Egypt and South Sudan have even offered to mediate between the fighting generals. So where is the infighting headed? And the big question, I guess, that many are asking, how safe are civilians now in that fighting between those big military and paramilitary titans who are fighting for space? And for more on this story, we're now being joined by journalist Bastian Massa, who's joining us from Addis Ababa. Bastian, thank you so much for joining us. The situation in Sudan still sounds very serious. What's the latest you can tell us? Are things settling down, getting worse?
Today is the beginning, is Eid al-Fitr. It's the end of the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims. And it's a time when traditionally Sudanese people, they celebrate and they gather with their family. But this year, it seems a little bit impossible and really different because the fighting are still ongoing, despite a 72 hours truce that was agreed yesterday by both leader Hemeti and Burhan and brokered by the international actors. The fightings are still ongoing and the situation is really tense still in the capital city and in Darfur.
But, you know, in countries like India, there's a lot of concern about Indians, for example, who are there in Khartoum, and people are concerned about their safety. What can you tell us about that? Has there been any reports on civilians being affected by this, or is it really just, you know, 2 different factions fighting, so civilians don't need to worry?
Yes, it's a war between 2 armies, between the RSF and the army. It's not a war that includes civilians, but we could see for the 2 last days that militias from RSF started to assault and to loot houses from civilians, from UN organizations, from foreign nationals. And it raised concern in Khartoum. And a lot of people, a lot of Sudanese families started to move also out of the capital to some countryside villages or cities where there is no fighting.
Okay.
And also the situation is a little bit, is really bad now regarding the hospital and the medical services, healthcare services. 40 out of 59 hospitals in the region of Khartoum are completely out of service, either bombed or they run out of power, of water, of medical staff. So this is a problem now.
All right. What would be anything which you're picking up? Are things going to quieten down, get better in the near future, or is it going to be a long-lasting situation?
The fact that a lot of families are starting to leave the capital can be a sign that a lot of people here are pessimistic about the coming days.
Okay.
We can still see what the truth will, if it will be respected in the coming days. But what I can say also is that many countries, or more and more countries, are starting to think about evacuation. 2 days ago, German military started an evacuation operation, but they had to stop it. And I think now that the US are thinking about evacuating their citizens.
All right. Bachin, thank you so much for joining us with that perspective. Thank you.